AI is taking over the world in every imaginable place, so I wanted to dabble around with it myself. I do own Photoshop, or the subscription to it, and they released a beta with their AI generative tools implemented into it. So what I would like to do today is take some of my favorite heavy metal album cover artwork and try to expand them beyond their normal bounds using the AI built into Photoshop. So let's see what this thing can even create. Alright, we've got a blank file here, and the first one that I'm going to end up pulling in here is going to be Judas Priest Sad Wings of Destiny. Now, it's not the highest quality photo. Alright, so I'm going to select the album. I'm going to invert the mask so it picks everything around it. I'm going to hit generative fill. I'm not going to type anything into the prompt. And we're going to hit go and see what it does. Alright, and this is what Photoshop has put out using the AI generation tool here. Now, the art does seem to fit really well, and I think the words do start to throw some of these AI generative tools off. But look at that. It is matching the art style and everything. It's got kind of this water reflection in the front. It's following that with all this hellish smoke. Let's try to expand it just one more time and see if we can get it to do anything cooler beyond what it already just did. Alright, so it gave us a couple options here. This one just doesn't work, whatever the hell that is. But it's got like a volcano or a firework thing in the background, kind of like an Eye of Sauron looking thing there. We got this water in the front, this hellish hellscape, and this variant over here, same kind of thing. It's able to expand this whole kind of world built into this artwork and create something cool. Now, I'm probably going to have to mask out some of the words for some of these albums because I think the words are throwing it off. But this is very promising for the rest of the albums. Next album that we're going to pull in here is going to be Dream Theater's A View from the Top of the World. This is their latest album, so we're going to expand the bounds of this one here. Excuse my Photoshop skills, I am still learning. I am brand new. And we're going to make our selection, which I'm going to do outside of the words because I feel like those throw everything off. And we're going to invert our selection, generative fill, and hit generate. And see what this bad boy creates out of this awesome Dream Theater album featuring an 8-string guitar for the first time, which is really, really cool. Ernie Ball, send me one. Come on. And this is what it created. Holy good lord. Like, that's actually really good. That blended really well. And let's see, we got a couple different variations here. That's the first one. We got the second one. I don't like that one so much. Third one's decent. This first one, though, I think that fits really, really well. Let's give it one more expansion here and see what we can get this thing to do. And this is what it did even more so. So we got a couple variations still. Again, I think the first one is better, but look at that. Like, it blended the artwork and everything almost seamlessly. And that's just like an expanded version of that album cover. This thing just... There's so many uses for this thing. But let's move on to the next album. Next album I'm going to do is another one of my favorite bands of all time right now, and that is Haken and their latest album, Fauna. So again, I'm going to make a selection outside the bounds of the words for this album, and we're going to see what this bad boy can do. Okay. This one maybe not so good, but again, it's not the highest quality image that I got for the album. But the variation, that one works pretty well, but what is that? Oh no, what is that? That's the thing with some of this AI art generation. It can make some cursed images. So let's expand this one more time. Let's kind of save ourselves if we can. And see what else this can create that's not cursed or going to haunt me later in my nightmares. Okay, so here we are. We got variation 1, variation 2, variation 3. 3 looks really cool, but you can see these weird lines that I'm not a huge fan of. Variation 1 is okay as well, but I don't know what kind of table that is. But this one seems to be the most like comprehensive put together, even though this chair is I don't know what that chair is, but hey, it expanded the image. Not the best one, a little cursed, but hey, it works. Next image I'm bringing in is another classic metal album. If you're a metalhead, you definitely know this album, or if you don't, well, you probably should. This is Metallica's Master of Puppets. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave the words out, unfortunately, because I feel like it throws a lot of the generation off. You know what? Screw it. Let's include the Metallica logo. Let's see what it does with that. And we're going to do this. We're going to invert. We're going to hit generative fill and generate and see what it does, including the Metallica logo. I'm assuming it's going to get it all kinds of screwed up because these art tools tend to really screw up words really bad. yeah, I mean, it tried to expand it. I don't know what it's thinking. It's just creating backgrounds. Like, okay, it seems to think it is an album, so it's trying to do this. But honestly, like I said, I'm going to leave the words out. So we're going to redo this selection here. Okay, see, look, that worked a whole lot better. And it created this really awesome, just like graveyard image. That's variation 1. Variation 2 is pretty cool. It's got this fog and these trees it added. Variation 3 is also very cool. But I think variation 2 is the coolest one here. So let's expand on that one. And we're going to expand this out like this. We're going to expand this corner out like this. And let's just go for the gusto and go kind of a big image size. Okay, so it screwed up a little bit on this one, it would seem. It thinks it's an album. It's not blending things very well, so I'm actually going to try to redo that one if I can and see if I can get us a better image here that's not so wonky. Let's get something that's comprehensive and actually glued together. There we go. Much, much better. Look at that. This is fully comprehensive. It's all gelled together. That's variation 1, variation 2, and variation 3. I actually like variation 3. There's a bit of like parallax going on here with some of the grass in the front. That is actually very, very cool. I dig that image quite a lot. I'd say that was a successful expansion. Next up, we got another favorite band of mine, Megadeth. And we're going to have to cut around a little bit here as well, just to make sure that we're getting everything the way it needs to be without the words in there. So I'm going to go down this way. I'm going to select across here, make sure we get Vic in there, and get as much of this image as we can, and then generate an image out of it. Let's see what it can do to Vic, Mr. Vic Rattlehead, and see what kind of image it creates with this one. I think it's going to be kind of cool. I hope it is, because this is one of my favorite metal albums ever. What? That is pretty cool. That's variation 1. Variation 2 is kind of bad. Variation 3 is, that's okay. The first one is the best one. It fits the most. I don't appreciate the lines that it's got in here, that it didn't really seem to blend well, but hey, we'll work with it. Let's expand this bad boy one more time and just see what it can generate. Let's actually just do this. I have him be kind of the ground subject. We're going to throw this off like this and see what we can get this to generate as like a big landscape photo of Vic in this kind of war-torn area here, and see what it can kind of come up with for the rest of like the grand image of this whole scene with peace sells, but who's buying? Surprised it didn't throw anything off with the for sale sign for this one. And look, oh, what is that? Variation 1, variation 2, variation 3. Oh, these are all good. I think, wow, that's got some like futuristic weird blue stuff going on here. That one's really cool. That's more dystopian. I think that probably fits better with the whole Peace Sells vibe. This one kind of does too, but it's got those clouds added in there. I think the second variation might be the best one. There's a little futuristic stuff added here that doesn't fit, but oh my goodness, that just, that works well. Minus those lines that are added in there, that is another successful expansion. Peace sells, but who's buying? I'm buying. All right, another poor quality image, but this time we've got a awesome album from Slayer, and we're gonna see if we can get this to expand on some cool shit. Gonna have to leave the name out just because it screws with things for whatever reason, and see what it can generate from some good old Slayer. I think the lower quality images tend to have some weird artifacting and stuff in the AI generation. I tried to find some high quality stuff, but some of these old images just don't have that. So variation 1, here's variation 2, variation 3. I think that one fits the most. And I've got a feeling here for our second expansion here. I'm going to take it downward. So we're going to expand it this way. We're going to leave that border thing at the top, and we're going to see what else we can expand this whole image into. All right, variation 1 kind of worked, but it threw off this side here. Variation 2 also kind of worked, but it's added this border here. Variation 3 filled out the most of the frame, and I think it's doing a very good job of keeping with the whole tone here, and I think it's making a cool image. So I actually want to expand this one more time and I want to bring it down like this, and I want to see what it's going to bring about in kind of a portrait mode here, because I'm imagining it's thinking this is like a painting in a certain way. So we're going to see what it does to make it like a portrait style painting. If it adds a border to make it look like an actual painting sitting somewhere in a museum or something, or like down here in my basement. And look at that. It does. It added a border on the bottom. Look at that. That's variation 1, variation 2, variation 3. They're all pretty similar. I think they all work well. Variation 2 might be my favorite. But yeah, that's like a rug or some kind of painting portrait you can hang up on your wall that a lot of people are going to question your intentions with them if they see this in your house. But that to me was another successful expansion. That is pretty freaking cool. Next image I'm pulling up here is another one from a well-known band, Tool. It's 10,000 Days. We're gonna also mask out the words here because those always throw it off. I apologize. I was trying to find images that didn't have the words in there, but those are hard to find. So I'm going to generate and see what it does with some of this crazy, like, weird, dark Tool art that they always had. Alright, so this is what I did on the first variation. I think that fits really well. Variation 2, that's cool too. Variation 3, also very cool. I think it's between 1 and 2 for me. Honestly, I think 2 is the coolest because it looks like a weird mask thing. So let's take that even further. Let's expand this. We're going to bring it down, and we're going to bring it out this way and this way. Let's see what it does with that. Alright, so this is what it came up with, and that is really cool. It's got like a weird web, like vine thing effect there with like some foliage or something. The second variation looks kind of like black and white fire of some kind, and this is another kind of like floral plant-like looking thing. I think I like the first one and the second one, and that added some cool stuff on the bottom, but I think this looks really cool. This would be like some kind of poster that I would actually hang up here in my studio. Like, I think that's really cool. It's just, and if I generate more, it's just going to do more of this like weird viney stuff, but I think, again, it's following the art style, and hey, I think it works. Next album cover art that we've got here is the third album from the cool power trip here, Demons and Wizards, from the minds of Blind Guardian and Iced Earth. And we're going to take this, and we're going to invert it, we're going to generative fill, and we're going to generate. I think this album is really cool in terms of the art. The sound of that, like the music, is also really good, because I love Demons and Wizards and speed metal. But this album cover is really sweet. And oh my god, look at that. That is a seriously good expansion. Variation 2 is also pretty good. A little wonky with the buildings, but that variation 3 just, no, it does not work. I like variation 2. This looks like a weird, like, gargoyle monster playing with a miniature set of, like, angel demonic G.I. Joe characters that they've got. I wanna expand this even more because I'm excited. This one's really cool. I was excited to get this one going just because the art I thought was really cool. Okay, variation 1, not too bad. This could be, I mean, this works. I think we're getting a weird perspective view from like the miniature side where they see this giant coming to their building there from inside of this like weird tunnel cavern thing. Variation 2, kind of a similar vibe, but I don't know what's up with those wood beams there. Variation 3, that I think works the best. It's 3 or it's 1. And I think 3 works the best because it's got the archway style there. That is really cool. Man, AI is just doing some crazy stuff. That, hey, that again is another poster that I would hang up here in my studio within a heartbeat. Next album art we're going to do is Iron Maiden with The Trooper, this limited edition blue vinyl version. And I'm going to use the marquee tool this time to draw around the words instead of trying to box them out the way I was doing it before. So we're going to get as much of the image in here as I possibly can while staying out of the way of the words. We're going to have to cut off the flag there, Eddie. Sorry for that. Come back around. We've got our selection. Hopefully this works the same way. We will find out. And holy good God, it did something weird with the end of the flag, but I think it did pretty well. Variation 1, variation 2, variation 3 is a little wonky. Between 2 and 1, I think 1 fits the best here. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I think 1 is the best. It kept the cool little tethered thing here on the end of Eddie's sword. So we're going to expand this another time. And we're going to go like this. And we're going to go like this. And we're going to see what it'll generate this time. And there we have it. I mean, it added a bunch of sky stuff. But, ooh. Oh, variation 2 and 3. Look at that. Oh my good lord. Added some more bodies and wreckage and stuff in there. Look at this is an awesome image. The only thing missing, what we could do to make this really cool, is like add a planet back here, like some spacey weirdness stuff. And look at that. It added a cool little planet there. I think, again, this is an image I would hang up as a poster in my fucking studio because it's Eddie, it's expanded. There's more of a war battlefield with a space thing added into it. I think this works really freaking well. And so the next album art I've got here is from Ghost. It's not the highest quality version of it, as you can see, but we're gonna mask out here again, and we're gonna get around the words that tend to screw up the algorithm for the art. It just never seems to know what to do with words, and it makes up really weird ones and weird things, and I don't understand it. And it's like weird typography that you see in your dreams and your nightmares, and you know what? It just doesn't always work, and a lot of times it gets put in weird places, and whoo, look at that. It expanded it. It's got a weird thing at the top. I don't understand that. I don't... Oh, there we go. Look at that. Variation 3 is the best one. It's still got a weird thing here at the top, but that is by far the best one. So let's expand that one more time. Let's see what this bad boy will add. If we... Oops, not do that. If we add it whoop, like this, we're going to make our selection to the art that we've already got. And let's see what it can generate this time. Oh, look at that. That's really cool. Variation 1. Variation 2, Variation 3. I think Variation 1 is the best one. Look at that. This weird monster thingy with a dude on top of it with his wings and stuff in a weird landscape. Like you would see this in like a Dante's Inferno game of some kind. And again, I would hang it up in the studio. Even though it's not the most like detailed thing with some of the art that this AI can generate, it does well enough, especially with all these different kinds of styles, and it can do it with people too. So that's the crazy thing. I think that works so well. All right, so that's it for this episode here. We got a good handful of pieces of art in there and expanded them out. A lot of them worked better than others, but some of them just really, really worked, and it's cool to see these album arts expanded, and in a weird way, seeing more of a universe that wasn't there before. AI has gotten crazy weird, and Photoshop having this as a thing that you can do, even though it's still in beta, which means it's just only going to improve. Oh, it's crazy good. It is crazy, crazy good. So let me know if you want to see another video like this down in the comments, because I will be so interested to do more different album artworks, and if there are any specific ones you'd want to see it done too, let me know as well. And other than that, whoo, AI is getting crazy. Oh yeah, subscribe.